Let's get together and give a big playhouse welcome for Mr. Marv Welsh, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Marv Welsh.
Hi, you. What do you say we turn around and get a boys in the band? Stand up there, band. Don't move. Just stay like you are. Just give a nice round of applause. Playing music. I want you fellas to know. This is the guy on the guitar here. You've heard Eddie Peabody when he plays. This is Eddie Playbody when he pees. And the guy in the drums smiles all the time because his zipper is caught in the cymbal. And the guy with the biggest organ in the room, that's him, is very popular here. In fact, they named a special room after you, didn't they, John? And, of course, the numbnuts were here with that wild-looking hairdo. There he goes, Daniel Boomin Inkachek. But anyhow, and this guy here with a trombone used to work for Tom McCann. Remember that? He blew the shoehorn. I always say this is a hell of a band. We heard you play, and I want to thank you all for making us deaf. Jeez. Ain't nobody here in the room who can hear anything. Isn't that a hell of a thing? Black suit and white socks. My God, here he is. I thought the Bible boat stopped running. Eh, Stash? You're here. But anyhow. Don't feel bad. We won't believe we had a guy in there last week with a black suit on and light blue socks. Not even dark blue. I mean, real light powder blue. Oh, it was just too much. And, and he was talking, he talked in Polish. But this is, I knew one that couldn't even spell and spent a whole night in a warehouse. But this is, couldn't spell, spent a whole night in a warehouse. Get that, sir? Or shut, get your check and get the hell out of here. You're sitting too close to me. We had a guy who got a drink, man. It didn't bother him. This guy drank like morning, noon, and night. Finally died. But not from booze. Everybody says, no, he died from the flu. They took him to the hospital, and the nurse gave him an alcoholic rub, and he broke his neck trying to lick his back. Which, could cause it. But everybody always says, what the hell are you doing over here, Mark? What are you doing over here? I've worked over in different countries like so much, and I've been over in Canada so long, and I'm over here in the fair city of Detroit, and of course, the Canadian women, they're nice. I like Canadian women, but let's face it, the American women, man, you got to hand it to them. This is the thing that, you got to hand it to them. The American women, I'll open my zipper, maybe that'll break you up. But anyhow. But this is the thing, what's the matter? You and her had a fight, you ain't going to get no goodies, now you're madder than me, eh? All right. No, I'm only kidding. Is this your wife or are you on a business trip? Not that we're picking on one or picking on the other, like my kid that got flicked his spelling test the other day. I said, what the hell word did you miss? He said, posse. I said, no wonder you miss it. You can't pronounce it. Yeah, well, you finally laughed or you have gas. And we got a wonderful boss. Actually, he's part Jewish and part Japanese. And every December the 7th, he attacks Pearl Schwartz. I don't care. Some people got it made. Some people never got it made. Like last Christmas, I had to buy my little girl a Chatty Cathy doll. Have you seen the Chatty Cathy doll? You pull the string and it doesn't shut up for an hour. And they got another doll now. It's a little beatnik doll with a little beard, dark glasses, sucks on little mirror weenies, and you pull this little string and it says, shut up, drop dead, kiss off, I protest. Shut up, drop dead, kiss off, I protest. And there's a little string in back of you, pull that string and it runs over and rapes Chatty Cathy. You should see that killer damn doll. Perfect for this day and age. Isn't that cute little doll, They got another doll, you have rubber tummy, and she blows in your ear, and she's 19 years old, and I got one. If the old lady finds out, I'm in a hell of a lot of trouble, buddy boy. This is Saturday night. I know Saturday night, no matter what it is, no matter what club you work. Saturday night, the weekends, that's when you guys bring your wives out. No, I can tell. During the week, you get a lot of men in the bar. But on Saturday night, you get the couples. Because after you don't have to go to work tomorrow morning, and if you're going to take the wife out tonight, get her boozed up, get some goodies, get her all stoned, and she'll be woo, and you're sitting here. I watch these guys sitting there pouring the booze down there, have another one, yeah, keep going, baby. Fine, I've seen guys here, they ain't drinking fast enough, so they grab a funnel and shove it down their throat, and they're still pouring it, And you know what happens? He walks out stoned. The old man is gassed. And the old lady walks out just like she came in, Dracula, madder than hell, Man, that booze didn't do nothing. Then you get home, and you're laying in bed under the sheets, and man, the room is spinning, and now the booze hit her, and she's in the bathroom bathing in perfume, getting her body ready for you. And you know what alcohol does to your sex life, man? Nothing. You can't even lay under the sheets and make tents. You can't believe that you can still be breathing and anything looks so damn dead, You only had a friend right now because he's getting ready. See you later with a bottle of Pepsi-Cola pouring it all over yourself and singing, come alive. When you put your panties on, sir, people are talking about your dirty white socks. But my wife's so dumb, she thinks grape nuts is a social disease. Refuses to eat them. It just bugs me. I got so damn mad at her today. I said, if you don't shut up, and I mean shut up now, I'm going to run through the whole neighborhood. I'm going to holler, I had you before we were married. She said, you go ahead, Jocko, because I'll be right back to you hollering you weren't the only one. Now you have your hands in your pockets feeling cocky. I understood that. Wearing white socks, he got his hand. Look at the color of your shoes. You stepping something? But this is the thing. You're just in a hell of a mess tonight. But anyhow. You're going to die from something. You know, I don't know. I knew a guy who had cholesterol. Real bad. Doctor says, you got to cut out all the dairy products. You know, no milk, no cream, no butter, no whipping cream, no cheese, none of the goodies. No more dairy products. You're going to die from cholesterol. And he cut out all the dairy products. He still died. Yeah. Got knocked on his ass by a dairy truck crossing the expressway. Well, the guy said to me the other night, hey, Mark, you ever smell mothballs? I said, hell yeah. He said, how'd you ever get the legs apart? I mean, these things are just going on. We got a face like two gals walked in here last night. The bar says, what would you girls like to have? They said, well, I'd have a couple of small slits. She says, I'll bet you would. That's why I warn you girls, don't use Vaseline. Your windows will drop out. Oh, I use Vaseline all the time I have sex. Oh, we have little kids. I put the Vaseline in the doorknobs. Hey, Ma, Pa, what are you doing? Ma, I can't get in, man. Hell, with Vaseline in the doorknob, that works better than any damn key. There's an married couple here that can tell me they ain't been caught by your kids one time or another. Now, let's be honest. You married people know that one time or another Junior walked in. And he walked in on us. He said, Daddy, what are you doing to Mommy? I said, yeah, she had a fit. I'm reviving her. I got home that night. I said, hi, little buddy, what happened? He said, boy, after you left today, Mama had another fit and the milkman revived her. And the numbnut still gave me a bill. But this is I mean, nothing goes right. Some people are lucky, some people are never lucky. I knew a guy who was so damn unlucky. When he was a kid, I was a guy who was put up for adoption by his foster parents. You know who took him in? A Korean family. No, you don't get that unlucky. I mean, I don't care who the hell you are. You know, some people are lucky. I'm unlucky, really. I buy artificial flowers. They die. I don't know what the hell it is. Really, it could be snowing naked women right now. I'd run out and get a lesbian. I don't know. You know. They say the two queers got on the Greyhound bus and they're singing, leave the driver to us. But this is the thing which is not saying, you know, anything against queers or anything. You gotta watch what you're gonna talk about nowadays. People talk about everything. I'm a nervous wreck. You're a nervous wreck. Just like the other night, my boss and I, who's like I said, Italian, is a wonderful guy. He's probably Jewish and part Italian. He really is. And he had a real problem buying this place. Because being part Jewish and part Italian, he didn't know whether he should buy it or rob it. And we went out to one of these all-night hamburger joints. You've seen these all-night hamburger joints? They got the, you know, the hillbilly waitress out there with a dirty hair hanging down the ringlets, you know, and dirty greasy apron on, and, you know, and she's sucking on a cigarette, you know, and standing there and she's scratching herself, you know. And I said to her real polite, like I said, hemorrhoids? It's just what's on the menu, smart guy. Don't order nothing special. What the hell? And then Louis, he ordered 2 hamburgers, you know. And they make them up in little balls, you know. So she gets the 2 hamburgers out of the refrigerator and takes one hamburger, puts it in her armpit and goes, whack. Takes the other hamburger, puts it in her armpit and goes, whack. I said, what the hell are you doing? He said, I'm making the hamburgers. I said, forget my hot dog. I don't care who you are. And I'm not talking against the younger generation who is very sharp nowadays. You don't bug kids anymore, you know. Do they read great books? Do they see great movies? No. When we were kids, we read stories like Tom Sawyer, Huckleberry Finn, Peter Pan and Captain Hook. Remember that dirty Captain Hook and Peter Pan? Remember how he died? Wiped himself with the wrong hand? See, he had a claw, sir. I mean, iron claw in his hand, you know. God almighty. Well, I'm going to have to get on the blackboard and give you chalk talks. But anyhow, that's our bartender. He's a Greek. That's the guy. Comes from the northern part of Greece, Poland. What is this? You can't get no farther north than that, boy. When they say, no, he's a good bartender. I mean, I'm not knocking bartenders. Bartenders go, you know. And he never says anything. He never says, he's quiet. Every night we walk out, we say, good night, Sam. He never says a word. We said, good night, Sam. He never says a word. The other night he walked out, and the boss said, good night, Sam. He didn't say anything. The boss hit him right in the mouth. And $22 worth of quarters fell out. Everybody in the whole room will drink. Right? Up in the bedroom, I heard a scream. Who put the Tabasco sauce and the Vaseline? Now, aren't you glad you're sitting in front? Oh, we're going to be friends. But anyhow, you and I, the war's over. You get parts of your head, man. And there's the Playhouse, not the Playboy. I bought my key to the Playboy, and I said to the guy, for $25, do I get, one of the bunnies, He said, the bunny will serve you your drinks. I said, no, you don't seem to understand. For $25, buddy, can I get a bunny, and do a little, he said, well, she'll serve you your food and play billiards with you. I said, you don't seem to get the message, buddy. For $25, do I get it? He said, no, you got that when you bought the key. Oh, I'll have one more toast, and then we'll put our drinks down, and we can listen some more. We were drinking the tailor's daughter, the only thing you ever made that fit me. We don't really have topless go-go girls here, not like they have in California. They're naked. There's no question about it. From the waist up, they are naked. And I saw them, and don't think that's a hell of a shock, boy. Buddy boy, you better believe when you sit down at the table, and you turn around, there's these flunger-dungers right in your eyeballs, she says, what would you like, sir? That's a hell of a thing. You lift up a girl's flunger-dunger off your Manhattan glass to see the cherry's still in it, She says, sir, I'm asking, what would you like? Give me a piece of beer. Give me a shot of boobs. An angel's tip. What the hell? We're talking about these toppers, and they got them, boy. One of those girls had the nerve to say to walk into a church exposed like that, and the priest says, you can't walk in there exposed like that. She said, I can too. I have a divine right. He said, I think you have a heavenly left, but you can't walk in here like that, Which is not saying against anybody's religion. I pick on everybody. I pick on the Jewish religion. If I pick on the Catholic religion, the same thing, which is a marvelous religion. Let's face it, who's progressing the most? The Catholics, right? They're changing more rules, and that's rough for a church like that. Has been steeped with tradition. Like they allow meat on Friday. That's a big move for them people. The only thing they haven't changed yet is the birth control pills, which is coming about. Of course, let's face it, there's a lot of Catholic women taking birth control pills. For their rheumatism, of course. And I don't blame them. Who the hell wants a pregnant elbow? Maybe the poor girl gives birth to a thumb. You don't know. And with her luck is deformed, no nail, and a half a cuticle. But this could be a thing. Not that we're talking about, you talk about everybody. What the heck? We're just the South. Now, the South don't dig us. You get down deep South, man, they don't dig us Yankees. I didn't think we butted our nose in too damn much. I got pulled over in Biloxi, Mississippi, and a great big hillbilly cop walked over. Well, he was a Jewish cop. Well, no, I figured he was because he had 6 points on his star, And he had a bagel on the string, was playing with it like a yo-yo. He says, you damn Yankees come down here, you think you know everything. You try to push us Southern folks around, you think you're smart, buddy, well, I'm going to teach you a lesson. I'm going to give you a ticket, smart Yankee boy, with your college degrees. And he grabs a book of tickets and he handed it to me. He said, now, you write what I tell you. What the hell I opened up with that one, but anyhow. There's a good crowd here tonight. I saw a kid the other day, could have been 4 years old, smoking a cigar. I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm smoking a cigar. I said, what are you doing? He said, that's nothing. I had a woman when I was 4. I said, how was she? He said, I don't know. I was drunk at the time. And this priest came over and he says, young man. The priest saw the kid smoking a cigar. He said, young man. And the kid looks up and says, hey, mister, how come you're wearing your collar backwards? The priest, I happen to be a father. Oh, the kid says, you got any children? The priest says, I have hundreds of children. The kid says, you better wear your pants backwards, old man. Wait, kids, you know what, like they will say with you women, I'm not knocking you women, you gorgeous creatures. Everybody digs a gal, no matter how you are. The first tight date I ever had, I'll never forget as long as I live. I took this gal out to the drive-in theater. My very first date. Went to the drive-in theater, and we parked the car, turned out the lights, necking and playing with each other, having a hell of a time. A cop came over and he's pounding on my hood. I said, what do you want, officer? He says, what are you doing? I said, we're watching a movie. He said, the hell you are, you're in a used car lot. We're going to worry about girls, and you girls got everything going for you. Let's face it, you women driving those guys out of our minds. Great, all you women do nowadays, you all talk how sexy you are. Let's face it, if you girls were as sexy as you claim to be, we'd all be on Medicare. You ever notice before you get married, and we got a guy here tonight getting married, Tom Taylor, he's getting married. Tom Taylor, and how long you been going with the girl, Tom? 8 months. Well, what can I tell you, too, that you haven't been doing over and over and over again? What can I tell you? I mean, is everything been all right, Tom? I mean, everything's been okay for the 8 months? What do you want to louse it up for, numbnuts? I'm going to tell you, I hope you got a lot, buddy boy, because that's all you're going to get from now on. And I'm going to warn you right now, don't admit to her after you're married that you like it, because then it's too good for you. You ain't going to get no more. Oh, yeah, I don't know what it is. Before you marry a man, they're sex maniacs. And when you get married, they're holier than thou. You ever notice all of a sudden you're dirty? And what bugs me is she taught you everything you now know. You know, and now you're supposed to take it. Oh, no, Tom. No, Tom. What can I tell you? You're going to take her to Niagara Falls for a second big disappointment? No. We had a honeymoon couple here the other night. Just got back from the honeymoon. They were so excited. I said to her, what'd you have for your honeymoon breakfast? She said, him and eggs. It was a ridiculous marriage. It'll never work. The guy's too damn tall. My God, he's 7'7". She's about 6 foot tall. No, he's 7'7". She's about 4 foot tall. Very small girl next to him. Very small. I said to the guy, you're nuts. What the hell you marry a small girl like that? How are you getting on? He said, I get on all right, but I don't have anybody to talk to. I said, it must be rough. He said, how'd you like the neck with a foam rubber pillow hat tonight? I said, I do that every night, but I call them falsies. Oh, numbnuts, Tom, you're going to learn. Oh, you idiot. You're smoking pretty heavy. Don't you ever inhale? How you smoking? Use death certificates? When the hell do they put LSD in paper form? Wild, 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 man. Nowadays, it's wild. I don't think what the hell it is. People talk about this Frugan going on, and there's the Watusi and the jerk, and the whole thing. I saw a teenage kid the other day beat up something awful. It seemed he was in the living room with his girlfriend, and him and her are doing the Watusi, you know, and they're dancing, and they're humping and thumping, you know, and her father walked in. He's deaf, and he can't hear music. He beat the hell out of that kid, hey. Is there anybody here that we should talk about? Anybody else from out of town celebrating something we should know about? You have people from out of town? Oh, birthday. Your birthday, dear. What is your name, dear? Josephine Palatowicz. Palatowicz? Palatowshitz? I like my way, Palatowshitz. That's a better name. But anyhow, you with a white sock, Stash. Did you meet your neighbor, Palatowshitz, over here? It's your birthday, dear? How old are you tonight? 19, isn't it? Well, let's give the old bag a nice round of applause, shall we, for 19 years old? Oh, my God, 19. Oh, you're about the tiredest looking 19-year-old I've seen in a long time. And her husband's sitting there back going, yeah. Aren't you taking the pills? I don't know what it is. No, really, gotta take the pills. You women got it. We ain't got nothing. What the hell have us guys got? Let's face it, we reach the age where it's like trying to put a marshmallow on a piggy bank. Everything's for the woman to be young again. What the hell about us guys? I like that TV commercial, you know, where the woman walks in and says, my God, Mildred, there's a white dove in your kitchen. I'm waiting for the day when Mildred turns around and says, yeah, you should see what I got in the bedroom. A big-ass, bald-headed eagle. He ain't going to work till I give him some goodies. I don't blame you girls for getting shook up. There is a white dove in your kitchen, pooping all over the place. And you go to the potty, you pull down your panties, you sit down, here comes a white tornado. You're afraid to open up your washing machine, there's a giant hiding in the damn washing machine. He grabs it by the flunger nuggers, pulls it down, steers it through the agitator, pushes out front drive, and cuts off your flunger nuggers. We'll have a drink. We'll raise our glass on high. And God made little boys, made them out of string. He had a wee bit left over, so he hung a little thing. When God made little girls, made them out of lace. He didn't have enough, so he left a little space. Thank God. Like I said to my doctor, I have a marvelous doctor. Oh, you're going to tell you he's a hemorrhoid specialist. You should meet his brother, Dr. Thunderball. That's another disease, always. When there's all hope gone, they send you to Dr. No, who says, forget it, drill holes in it and join a band. But anyhow, No, when I'm telling you, you got to know. We were talking about bomb out of your minds. The husbands get drunk, the wives get drunk. I know this couple got back from the cocktail party. Man, he's gassed. She says, I hope you're satisfied, you miserable drunk. At your boss's party, you goosed every woman there you didn't know. You threw up all over the place. You told your boss to drop dead, go to hell, kiss off, and he fired you. And he's still drunk. He says, yeah, well, you know what he can do. She says, I did that. You go back to work Monday.
Guy's a real knee slapper.
You women will do anything for security. I don't know what it is. I mean, not that we're saying. I mean, you girls, really, I'm losing my mind. This one's got me out of my mind. I can't remember like I used to remember. Last Sunday night, we're watching television for an hour and a half. She gets up, walks in the bedroom, slams the door. She says, I've had it. I can't remember giving it to her. Whether I got it between Lassie and Flipper, I don't know, you know. Women, they talk about it. Let's face it, you women got everything going for you. What do they say in history? What do they say in history? Behind every great man was their wife, right? Every great man was pushed by his wife. Every history book tells you that. Behind every great man was a great behind. They all tell you that. We will never know what these women said to their husbands to make them great. You'll never know. Maybe you can picture Paul Revere's wife looking at him and saying, I don't give a damn who's coming, I'm taking the horse. Maybe Ponce de Leon. Remember Ponce de Leon? He discovered Florida. Can you see him pulling away from the docks, ready to discover Florida? His wife standing on the shore yelling, you're going to Florida without me? Maybe you can picture Thomas Edison's wife saying, what are you doing, Tom? I can't see with the light on. Can you picture the great Albert Einstein? The great Albert Einstein, his wife looking at him and saying, what do you know? Maybe you can picture General Custer's wife saying to him, smart ass, you wouldn't join the Coast Guard. And him walking around with an airlopus tookers. Can you imagine him with an airlopus tookers yelling, I'm in charge. They even say Betsy Ross was heard to say, you are a minute man. You know what a minute man is? As a guy can get in during a TV commercial and make it back during the station break. So I'm not really knocking you girls. That's why they grow corn in the mountains, because the jolly green giant peas in the valley. Maybe you heard about the nearsighted turtle that raped an army helmet. And that poor GI wearing that helmet, he getting his seat back, and there were all like clanging and banging going on. And the damn turtle missed, man, goofed up his sinus bad. I'm going to have my little boy out to the zoo. He said, Daddy, what's that big thing hanging down from the elephant? I said, that's his trunk, honey. He said, no, Dad, that other big thing. There's a big thing swinging down from the elephant. What's that? I said, oh, that's his tail. He said, no, Dad, that big thing that's hanging from the elephant. What's that? I said, that's something. He said, last time Mother had me here, she said it was nothing. I said, well, your mother's spoiled, kid. I mean, this goes on and on. Quite we're in the supermarket today, a couple walking by. He's pushing the baby buggy. His wife looks over and says, my God, that's not our baby. He says, shut up, it's a better buggy. And you women will do it. I don't care. I mean, you know, he's throwing out all my old clothes the other day, and I'm going through the pockets, in case I forgot something. I found a 1952 shoe repair claim check in my pocket. And I thought, you know, this is 1967. Maybe the guy still got my shoes. I'll try. I went back, the same guy still in the store. I said, sir, I know this is stupid. I have a 1952 shoe repair claim check. Do you think you still might have my shoes? He said, hell no, but I'll look. He came back and said, by God, I got them. I got them. They'll be ready Tuesday. See? What a goofed up audience you are, you're digging the clean ones. But anyhow, just shot my whole damn act. But every town, I don't care what town it is, has their streets where the prostitutes hang out. Everybody knows that, you know. Here in Detroit, we got John Iron III. And this is according to the local newspapers who had a big editorial on it. And all the girls are down to John Iron III. And the papers were very nice enough to even give the price list. Well, there's a lot of guys on the budget, you know. What the hell? You got to figure out, you know, your expenses. And they found out they go down to John R. The girl costs you $10, and on Thursday costs you $15. I don't know what the difference is, so I went down to find out. I got caught in the middle of an intersection, ended with a half-ass broad for 11 and a quarter. So I didn't know who I was, so I grabbed a cab, and there was a woman cab driver. I said, take me to the cheapest sporting house in this area. She says, you're in it, Jocko. So you'll be back in a couple of shakes, sir? Really cracking him up, ain't I? Eh? Oh, man, he's so happy he's here. I have to make an announcement, ladies and gentlemen. They found out the Detroit Police Department was in here tonight, and they want me to announce that the fellow, if he's here tonight, that robbed the First National Bank, be there Monday morning, your pictures are ready. And you can't get away because they got the description of the car. It's either 61, 62, 63, or 64 Volkswagen. They know that. One buffalo said to the other buffalo, hey, man, I just heard a discouraging word. Which is not knocking, you know, nobody. I mean, it's the wildest thing. Just like Goldstein. Goldstein walks in the pawn shop. He says, I want to buy a gun? He said, the pawnbreaker, Jake. Joke. He said, I want to buy a gun? I call my wife in bed with another man, I'm going to shoot him. And the pawnbreaker, Jake, says, no, don't do that. Get a divorce. It's a lot simpler. He says, no. He said, don't talk me out of it. Tell me a gun. I'm going to shoot him dead. He's with my wife. And the pawnbreaker says, okay, it costs you $100. And Goldstein says, maybe I should just get a divorce. You know, the hell, $100? The hell? You know, $100? I could buy all the action I need for a night. Wait a minute, the pawnbreaker says. Jake, the pawnbroker. He says, I know you're really desperate, Ginsburg. So he said, I'm going to take you back there. Goldstein, whatever the hell his name was. What was his name when I started out? Schwartz. You numbnuts. You're bad as him. Put on your white socks and get the hell out of here. He says, wait a minute, I got a gun in the bag. It's a beat-up old gun. I'll sell you for $10. And one bullet I'll throw in. That's all you need. And Goldstein says, I'll take it. 6 months later, the pawnbroker, Jake, met Goldstein on the road, and he says, I've been reading the newspapers. I didn't see no guy being shot. What the hell happened? Goldstein says, well, I'll tell you, so I take the gun, I walk in the bedroom, there he is, naked in bed with my wife. I raise up the gun to shoot him. He looks over and says, Jake, Goldstein, he says, that's a hell of a gun you got there. I'll give you $100 for it. We pick on everybody that comes in here. We make them all equal when they talk about the segregation, degradation, integration, the whole damn thing. Everybody says, who's got the, you know, who really got screwed is the American Indian. Oh, yeah. You know, when Columbus landed on the shores, who the hell met him? But the Indians. When Columbus was landing, the one Indian said to the other Indian, well, mother, there goes the neighborhood. Remember how the Kennedy family also go on marches, you know, physical fitness? That's the time that Bobby Kennedy took that 50-mile road march down the highway and made that 50 miles and made the last 25 miles in 15 minutes when a Hoffus truck driver spotted him on the highway. Man, he moved. These guys in Texas, they brag. They brag no matter what the hell I showed them in Detroit, Michigan. They had it bigger in Texas. I took them all over. I took them up by Lake Erie and I let them watch the perch out there by the Wyandotte chemical plant going. And the carp sitting up saying, go man, go man. Take them to the beautiful Greenfield village and let them step manure for half the afternoon. Take them out to Hamtramck where the big Polish population hangs out in Hamtramck. Let them watch the Polacks that work and play in the Dodge main plant. Took them over to Belle Isle, let them barbecue ribs in an oil drum. Fun. Took them downtown Detroit and let a pigeon go on them. Fun. But they had it bigger in Texas. No matter what the hell I show, it's bigger in Texas. I got so damn sick of the bragging. I said, wait a minute, you guys got a river, like the Detroit River, flowing through two great big cities like Detroit and Windsor. You got a river like that? Because you nuts, man, out there in Texas, out in the desert, out in the prairie. How the hell do we have a river like the Detroit River? I said, easy. When you get back to Texas, you get yourself a big, long pipe, and you lay it all the way from Texas to the Detroit River. And if you guys can suck as hard as you can blow, you'll have yourself a river. They say heaven, they got two gates. One gate is marked for men who are dominated by the wise while on earth. Enter here. And there's another gate that says for men who are not dominated by the wise while on earth. Enter here. Of course, over here, there's a million guys waiting to get in. And over here, there's one guy all by himself. I said, what the hell are you doing there, Mac? He said, I don't know. My wife told me to stand here. I had a girl here the other night, walked over and said, "Sir, John, you want to buy me a drink?" I said, "Well, I'm no connoisseur of liquor, but I'll buy you a drink." And after the drink, she says, "Was I to go to my apartment for dinner?" I said, "Well, I'm no gourmet. Well, I'll go for steak dinner. What the hell, Went to her apartment, had dinner. She says, "Would you like to go to bed now and have a little party?" I said, "Well, I'm no Casanova. Well, I'll have a party." We got through. She said, "Wasn't that terrific?" I said, "Sure as hell was." She says, "How about $100?" I said, "Well, I'm no gigolo, but I'll take it." That's why I say drink out of your mind. We had a drunken here tonight. My God, you should have seen him. He was a good spender, but he was bomb. Gas. He's like, "I gotta go home." And well, we didn't want to lose him because he was spending money. So what do you gotta go home for? He said, "I gotta go potty." I said, "You out of your mind? We got a John here. Use our John." He said, "No, I better go home and use my John. I take salts." I said, "You kidding? 1,000,000 people in this country take salts. Use our John." He did. What a mess. I said, "What kind of salts you take?" He said, "Summer salts." But I'm not knocking when I say we got people from all over. We do have. I mean, you never know what the hell comes to the club, drunk, sober, or otherwise. You just got to come in here with your wife or otherwise. And I'm not knocking wife. My wife bugs the hell out of me. She went to the hairdresser today. She said, "I want to look like Barbara Streisand." So she took his hairbrush and broke her nose. She's a good-looking woman, my wife, but she ain't got a hell of a build. She's very flat-chested, if you want to know. In fact, when she takes off her bra, it looks like a couple of warts covered by a Band-Aid. Now, I'm not knocking. Don't get me wrong. The other night I said in bed, I said, "Turn over." She said, "I am." She walked out of the shower the other day, and I said, "Pimples, come here." I said, "Why don't you sit on your shoulder blades and walk backwards? Give you some form." Really? She holds up her girdle with suspenders. You wouldn't believe it. She takes a shower. She runs like hell to get wet. She's always griping. Bag, but that's not enough. Says the other day, "Look at the way I dress. Anybody come over here, they think I was the cook." I said, "Now they stayed for dinner, they wouldn't." You wouldn't believe it. She burns Kool-Aid. Last week she made me prune stuff with chopped liver. I've been coming and going ever since. Now the food prices are going up, so she's buying dehydrated foods. Numbnut says, "No, you're supposed to mix them with water." Pours a whole dry lump on my plate, and I ate it. Got caught in a rainstorm, gained 150 pounds within 15 minutes. Shot up, just like that. This woman just don't know. And you do everything for these people. I buy my kid a dog. I want him to have a dog. Because the guy down the street buys his kid a dog. You should see the dog he bought his kid. Has got a hair lip. You ever hear a hair lip dog right down the street barking? My. So I gotta buy a dog for my kid. My boy's a nervous boy. He stutters. He gets it from my dad. My dad stuttered very bad. In fact, if my dad hadn't stuttered so bad, I'd have probably been 6 years older today. Oh, yeah. Even as a kid, I can still hear my dad and mother in the bedroom every night, him saying to her, would you? And my mother saying, what? The old man saying, forget it. I bring the dumb dog home, the dog stutters. You ever see a stuttering dog right down the street? Wow. Now the damn cat picked it up. How the hell are you going to call a stuttering cat? That's a hell of a way to wake up every morning. Here. And my wife running down the street chasing the garbage truck with her mascara smear, her foam muffers hanging up in the bathroom, the dryer, dirty kimono flapping in the breeze. She's a mess. Her hair in curly, she's yelling to the garbage man, "Am I too late for the garbage?" "No, lady, hop in." I was in a motel the other night. This guy's knocking on my door, drunk out of his mind. I open the door, I said, "What do you want?" He said, Hey, buddy, where's room 709? I was right down the hall, around the corner, 2 doors. It's 6 hours, buddy. I shut the door. I crawled back into bed. I got the sheets up over my head. Here comes a knock on the door. I opened the door, the same damn drunk. I said, "What do you want?" He said, "Hey, old friend, where's room 709? I was right down the hall, around the corner, 2 doors. I shut the door and I said, "God, I'm just drifting off to sleep. Here comes the knock again." I opened the door, the same drunk. I said, "What the hell do you want?" He said, "Man, are you in every room?" I can't rest. Then there's a widow next next to me. She's bombed out of her mind. This widow is a rich widow. She's gassed. Got a chauffeur, Chinese houseboy, the whole damn thing, you know. And she's in her bed there, and she wakes up next morning, and she's naked. She's naked in her own bed, and she don't know how the hell she got there. So she picks up the house phone and calls the Chinese houseboy. Hello, Charlie? How'd I get home last night? He says, me bring you home, okie dokie. So Charlie, who put me to bed? He said, me put you to bed, okie dokie. She says, well, who took all my clothes? He says, me took all your clothes, okie dokie. She says, my God, I must have been tight. He says, first time, yeah. Second time, okie dokie. What the hell? We're talking about Florida. I wasn't talking about Florida. I was down there last year. I should have been there this year with the weather way it is. And it was cold down there last year. It was damn cold down there last year. Don't let anybody kid you. Boy, we froze. I got one morning saw a dog stuck to a palm tree. Listen, buddy, when you're paying $50 a day for a room, you're going to put in your bathing suit and walk on that beach no matter how cold it is. And that's a hell of a sight, watching 50,000 blue Jews strolling up and down the beach. And over in Lauderdale, they got the kids. All the college kids. You should see them on that beach, man. You can walk down that beach after midnight, you won't touch sand. I just kept stepping on bodies and hearing thanks, thanks, thanks. I tripped over one couple and heard thanks, thanks. What the hell of it, you know? Went into a bar down there, and a nice-looking colored man walked in. The bartender's all shook up. He said, boss, there's a colored man here. What'll I do? And the boss said, charge him $20 a drink. And the boss said, what if he pays? And the boss said, get rid of the white trash. You know, before they passed that law, for the Catholic religion, they passed that law about you can eat meat on Friday now, before it was all fish. This whole Catholic neighborhood that was out by our way, one Jewish guy buys the only house, Abe Schwartz. And every Friday night, boy, he's charboiling a steak. And the Catholic boys are eating that damn tuna fish. And it's bugging the hell out. They figured there's only one thing to do. Abe ain't going to sell, so they got to convert him. They said, Abe, you're a nice guy. Become a Catholic. He says, I like the neighborhood. I like the people. I become a Catholic. So he gets in front of the priest. He kneels. The priest sprinkles water on him. He says, you're born a Jew. You're raised a Jew. You're now a Catholic. Everybody's happy. Next Friday night, all the Catholic boys eating their tuna fish. Here come the aroma, charboiled steak through the whole damn neighborhood. They run down and say, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? He says, I'm cooking a steak with my supper. I want to have a steak with my supper. He says, you can't. You're a Catholic now. You got to eat fish. He says, I'll take care of everything. He grabbed a bucket of water, he threw it on the steak, and he says, you're born a cow, you raised a cow, you're now a fish. There's a hillbilly standing out there in the moonlight with their blue jeans on and their zippers open, getting the night air. Strumming their guitars. And that's down south, man. I know this hillbilly gal, 19 years old, had 8 kids. Said, the doc, how do I stop? And the old hillbilly doctor, he didn't know about birth control pills. He said, you go to bed night, he says, you get yourself a big gallon jug. Put both feet in the gallon jug, that'll hold your legs together. You won't get pregnant no more. 6 months later, he meets her and she's pregnant. He said, didn't you do what I said? So I couldn't find a gallon jug, so I used 2 half gallons. There's a difference between an Italian and a Jewish boss. When you work for a Jewish boss, no matter how hard you work, you get through the show, he says, you didn't do Jolson? How come you didn't do Jolson? But there's an Italian boss. He calls you and says, hey, baby, come here. About the show. There's a hell of a difference, you know. Me, I'm going to do Jolson. Look at me, I'm dancing. Peace. Just like Louis Detroit, he owns this place, but he's got other owners. I give him one line, I said to the guy, who the hell's that guy? He said, he owns a piece. I said, well, who's the other guy? He said, he owns a piece. I said, well, who's the girl? He said, she's the piece. Come over here, stand right here. Stand right there. All right there. Now the whole band stand up. You stand up, you stand up, you stand up. Now the woman in the back with the baby in her arms, would you like to make the identification? And I love Canada, don't get me wrong. I worked in Canada 12 years. I got tired of that damn tunnel. And that's a hell of a tunnel, like gleaming white tile. It reminds me of the world's biggest John. It's gotta be a big damn John. I can picture a urinal going right down the whole wall, right one side. Big urinal, right from Detroit to Windsor. And 100,000 guys all standing there yelling, dim your lights. The kid who walked in the drugstore said, hey, Daddy, give me an aspirin. Cha-cha-cha. The drug says, why don't you try an X-Lax? Poo-poo-poo. You don't know. When I had my heart attack, I said to the wife, my God, I got home after being in the hospital a month. I said, let's have some goodies. She says, no. You had a heart attack. You better rest up for another month. I said, you nuts, I'm ready now. I said, my heart's okay. I got to work on my complexion. Let's go. She says, no. She says, you better rest up for another month. Bring me a note from your doctor, then I'll give you some goodies. I said, doctor, you got to give me an note. He's all right, you're a nice lady. So he wrote me a letter. My boss is in a perfect physical condition. With the amount of medication he's taking, he's like a 20-year-old man, and he can indulge in any sexual activity he so desires, and he signed his name. And I said, I made this out to your wife. I said, hell no, made that out to whom it may concern. Are you kidding? But a little like that, who the hell needs her, you know? And I got drunk the other night. I staggered into the house. The wife said, you drunk? You give me a drunk one more time, I'm going to cut off your sex life. I said, you don't even know where she lives. Are you kidding? I'm just like I'm out to Vegas. When I was to Vegas, everybody says, Vegas, you shot craps, you won. I'll tell you what I did. I crept up to the crap table, I crapped, and I crept away. That's about what happened. While I'm there, this beautiful chick walks in, a beautiful chick with the biggest fungadungus you never see. Lays $2,000 down the table, picks up the dice, lifts up her leg, and she ain't got no pants on. Throws the dice, picks up everybody's money, and walks out. The guy around the table said to his buddy, did she make her point? He said, I thought you were watching. I see you're back. Did you wash your hands, old buddy? Bet you washed your hands, but you didn't wash your buddy, did you? Nobody ever washes your buddy. I was in the motel, I mean, you can't see these damn motels. Next time you go to a motel, you believe what I'm telling you. You walk in the bathroom, you open up the medicine cabinet, and you're going to see another eyeball looking back at you. They can hear everything. You ever notice in a motel when you go to a motel, huh? Like these beautiful motels along the Detroit River, you sit down, you go to a party, you take the paper, and you go... Because you don't want nobody to know that you're in there, you know. Like at home, you sit down, you take the paper, and you go... You know. And you'll notice that nobody flushes. Nobody ever flushes. All day, nobody will flush the damn John, because they don't want you to know you're in there. Find the afternoon, some guy gets a nerve. He flushes right down the hall. 50 Johns all at once, everybody hits him. Wow. The whole Detroit River is going... I got the kids down to see Santa Claus last Christmas. I'll forget it, man. I've never seen anything like it. That was a hell of a year. Spent a bundle. The only people who made money during Christmas were the pickpockets. I caught one with his hand in my pockets. What are you doing? He said, I'm making change. As long as you ask me. He said, I don't talk to strangers. Women jam-packed. They push me and shove me and push me. I got so mad I went back 3 or 4 times. Yeah, then I got stuck in the elevator. The elevator broke down. Who's on board with me? A hairdresser and a Greek. I didn't know which way to turn. The hairdresser did my hair, but I kept my eye on the Greek. I'll tell you that, man. Sorry about that, Sam. He goes through these things. I don't say he's a crook. Some guy walked in the other night, ordered a double shot of whiskey, knocked it down, threw a $1 bill in the bar, and walked out, and Sam put the book in his pocket. Louis, the boss, walked over and said, what kind of business is this? Sam says, you see that phone? He gives me a buck tip and doesn't pay for the drink. Hey, would you pull your pant legs down? I'm getting snowblind. But this is the thing that... We had a gal come in the other night wearing a miniskirt. You see these miniskirts? Your dress ain't George. You should see a miniskirt. Right to there. And she stood right there, and don't think I wasn't looking at her, boy. I was looking. And some idiot stepped on my fingers. Everybody said, all you guys you talk so smart in showbiz about girls. You get all the girls. How do you get the girls? It's easy. You got to brag on a girl. That's how you get a girl. Brag about her hair. Brag about her teeth. Brag about her body. You're going to get her. He's bragging out, I'm going to try that. He came back next day and said, what happened? I said, well, he said, I couldn't brag about her hair. She damn near bald. He said, I couldn't brag about her teeth. She didn't have men. I said, what'd you say to her? I told her for a fat girl, she didn't sweat much. You had a hell of a crop this year, baby. Wow. That's too much. You don't know. This could be Mariweenies. A couple of guys driving in Detroit, sucking the Mariweenies. One says, hey, you're getting close to town. The other says, how do you know? He says, you're hitting more people. And they're driving this chick home, and she's bombed gas. She's been on LSD, pop pills, the heroin, the marijuana. She says to the driver, you're passionate. He said, would you shut up, you skinny broad? You bug me. Man, I've never seen anybody, really, and buck teeth, you are really an ugly-looking chick. I bet when you take a shower, you put a coat hanger in your mouth so you don't go down the drain. She looks at his buddy. You're passionate. Was you good bugging me? All night I kept asking you to dance. I kept spinning you around. You kept getting taller. I spun you around. You kept getting taller. Once you tell me you had a wooden leg and I was spinning you the wrong way. The guy said, what the hell do you live? Where do you live? She said, down there in Manor off of Livernois. He says, my God, we passed that 20 minutes ago. He says, I've been trying to tell you, you're passionate. Had a bunch of guys in the other night from the university, and we were talking about all the girls we had, and it was just fun. I said, whatever happened to Shirley? She said, oh, she got married, got 3 kids. I said, what happened to Mary Jane? She said, oh, she joined the Peace Corps, working over in India. I said, what happened to Dolores Weber? He said, oh, she's a school teacher, teaching home economics and sex hygiene. I said, where the hell did she learn about home economics? Like way to say, I mean, the same thing. I'm the same way. What the hell? You talk about your wife, talk about my wife, anybody's wife. I go home tonight, what the hell do I get in bed? Nothing. She's in bed, her arms are my side, her hair's on my side, her legs are my side. The good stuff she's got on her side. Ain't nothing on my side. That's it. Oh, thank you. You're sitting Marlborough at a fabulous playhouse. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Marvell. Joining us, Mr. Marvell.